The moment is finally here. Is Roundup Rodeo BBQ worth all the hype it's been receiving leading up to its big opening, or have the years of anticipation ended in a fizzle? Hey everybody, it's AJ for Disney Food Blog. After literal years of waiting for this Toy Story themed restaurant to open up in Disney's Hollywood Studios, Roundup Rodeo BBQ is finally here and ready to treat guests to lots of color, immersive entertainment, and barbecue. Lots and lots of barbecue. But was years of waiting for the restaurant actually worth the build-up, or did we leave feeling as if something major was missing from the experience? Roundup Rodeo BBQ is a Toy Story themed table service restaurant located inside Toy Story Land. Makes sense, right? You'll find it right at the front of the land behind Woody, who's greeting all the new toys, aka you guys, entering the area. Originally, Roundup Rodeo BBQ was announced back in 2019 and was set to open in 2020, but you know the story. The park closures of 2020 created several delays for lots of different projects, including Roundup Rodeo BBQ. But this place finally opened its doors to the public on March 23rd, 2023, a whopping 4 years since it was first announced. Now, something we're going to really hone in on today is how the barbecue at Roundup Rodeo compares with other barbecue locations around Disney World, because Disney has no shortage of ribs, pulled pork, and brisket around property. Because Roundup Rodeo BBQ is the new kid on the building block, you're going to need to make sure you've got an advanced dining reservation all set up before your trip. Advanced dining reservations can be made 60 days before your visit, but Disney World Resort Hotel guests may make reservations 60 days before your visit, plus the length of your stay up to 10 days, so that gives you a little extra leverage. The best way to book these reservations is by doing so on the Disney World website or the My Disney Experience app. Reservations go live daily at around 6 a.m. Eastern, but I'd recommend trying your luck at 5:30 or 5:45 a.m. Eastern, since Disney has been known to drop reservations even earlier sometimes. Now remember, in order to actually make these advanced dining reservations, you gotta already have a valid theme park ticket and a park pass reservation for Hollywood Studios, all locked and loaded. And if you're gonna dine there for a late lunch or dinner, you're gonna need to have a park hopper if you don't have a park pass for Hollywood Studios. If you miss your window of opportunity for reservations, you may still have one last chance for them on the day of your visit. Last minute reservations don't always pop up for these more popular places, but they can, considering you can cancel your dining reservations at least 2 hours before your meal and not be charged a $10 per person no-show fee. So it's always worth checking out just in case a family decides they need to cancel at the last minute, giving you an opportunity. So you know how in Toy Story they say you are a toy? For real, you are a toy at this restaurant, and the servers here are going to expect you to play your part. Roundup Rodeo BBQ is a fully immersive Toy Story themed restaurant with its main source of inspiration being Woody's Roundup Gang. You'll see Western rodeo play sets, the amazing Rope and Woody spring action toy, colorful horseshoes on the ceiling, and of course the Rootin' Tootin' Cowboy team themselves, featuring Jesse, Bullseye, Stinky Pete, and the one and only Sheriff Woody. But since this is Andy's handiwork, and because that kid's hyper creative, y'all, you're definitely gonna see other friends here too, like Rex, the Green Aliens, Ham, Mr. Potato Head, Bo Peep, and Buzz Lightyear of Star Command. You'll also notice that Andy had to get a bit creative to build this rodeo arena, so you might find the floor covered in birthday wrapping paper or classic board games propping up some of the cardboard cutouts, or thumbtacks holding up the paper banners. But the coolest thing about the theming here is how oversized everything is to help create the effect that you are a toy. Roundup Rodeo has 2 main dining rooms, one themed to Jesse and one themed to Bo Peep. No matter which side you're placed in, you're never going to have a shortage of things to look at, much like Toy Story Land itself. In terms of the seating, you're going to find some standard tables and booths with colorful chairs, but nothing too fancy. But while you're busy looking at everything, don't forget to be listening too. Every now and then you might hear Sarge shout out over the speakers that Andy's coming. When you hear this, everyone's got to freeze in place, wherever they are, just like a game of freeze dance. One cast member even filled us in on how the music and voiceovers could receive a special seasonal overlay during the holidays, so we'll definitely be on the lookout for that. But along with all the color and characters and over-the-top theming, there are a few atmospheric things that were a little iffy. For starters, the restaurant just oozes that classic character dining vibe. It feels like at any moment Woody and Buzz and Jesse should all start coming around the tables and meeting and greeting with guests, but they don't, and that's because this isn't that kind of a restaurant. This could be great if you and your family aren't big on the character dining opportunities and would rather eat your meal without being interrupted by giant toys. But when you're hearing audio over the speakers straight from the toys themselves, it might make your younger diners go, wait, where are Buzz and Woody hiding out? Did they freeze too? Another thing that kind of feels weird to me are those paper plates, the fake paper plates. I'm glad that Disney's being resourceful and not wasteful, and yes, I understand the whole laid-back theme going on here, but the fact that I'm using kind of a porcelain plate that looks like a paper plate just makes the meal feel a little bit cheaper. And trust me, this meal is not cheap, but we'll get more onto that later on. And again, this could very well just be a personal issue. All right, time to dig in, everyone. Because Roundup Rodeo BBQ serves your food family style, that means your all-you-care-to-enjoy options are going to be brought straight to your table, instead of you having to get up and go pick it up from a buffet lineup yourself. So let's walk you through what a meal here is going to look like. Everyone's going to start off with an order of the Prospector's homemade cheddar biscuits, which are pretty good. Like, I'm never going to complain about receiving cheesy bread, but I'd compare them to what you might be served at a chain restaurant you'll find back in your hometown. What really helps these biscuits out is the side of sweet pepper jelly, so make sure to slather on a knife full of the good stuff. Then you'll be brought 3 types of salad to help counteract the carbs, I guess. There's the Wheezy's watermelon salad, the Rootin' Tootin' tomato salad, and the Rex's romaine and kale salad. Kids are more than likely going to prefer the watermelon salad out of the 3 because the most salady part about it is that it's sprinkled with fresh mint leaves. The watermelon is crisp and sweet and fresh. 2 thumbs up for us. Now let's get to the meats. Your table will share a platter of 4 different house-smoked meats featuring pork sausage, smoked ribs, beef brisket, and barbecue chicken. There's also a Cedar Plant Saloon salmon available upon request. So one of the most interesting things we quickly found out about these meats was how they had a sweeter, less smoky flavor to them. But you can bump up their flavors even more with the 3 sauce options at your table, including the spicy, sweet, and classic options. Sorry, all you KC barbecue fans, the classic sauce is more of that mustard base like you're gonna find in the Carolinas. Overall, there wasn't a whole lot to say about our meat options, but that's both good and not so good. It's good because we enjoyed ourselves well enough. The meat was tender and flavorful. We were definitely ready for seconds after finishing up our first plateful, but it's not exactly memorable by any means. Like, I don't find myself sitting here going, man, I'm really craving Buttercup's beef brisket right now. If this was any other amusement park, I'd say Roundup's barbecue was pretty impressive, and compared to the usual hockey puck burgers and fried stuff on a stick you might normally find, it was okay. But this is Disney we're talking about, a place that, as we've already established, has several barbecue places on property. Just think about those quick service locations. Regal Eagle Smokehouse has a variety of barbecue from several different US regions that specialize in this culinary art form. Flame Tree Barbecue can hook you up with a full ribs and chicken combo platter with side of beans and coleslaw for around $16. And the Polite Pig is a straight-up award-winning barbecue quick service in Disney Springs that was literally recognized by the 2022 Michelin Guide. So when I go to bed tonight, are you going to find me dreaming about the Evil Doctor smoked ribs at Roundup Rodeo BBQ? Probably not, though that was probably our favorite option out of the meats. But are you going to find me dreaming about the barbecue meatballs over at the Polite Pig made with the house brisket served with a side of cheddar grits and topped with Layla's sweet barbecue sauce? Yes. So we'll get more into that subject later on. Now, if you're a plant-based eater, that does not mean you can't eat here too. There's a Trixie's plant-based trio you can get for the table, featuring options like the cauliflower and harissa drizzle with walnut gremolata, an impossible bratwurst, and an impossible rib chop. Along with your meat or veggie entrees, you'll also get to select 4 different unlimited sides. This could include mean old potato salad, the married spuds, veggie slaw, force field fried pickles, campfire roasted vegetables, slinky dogs, mac and cheese, buck and baked beans, and cowpoke corn on the cob. These sides complement the meats nicely, but again, nothing here really stands out as being a best of or anything. I mean, the potato salad tastes like potato salad. The veggie slaw was slaw, though that sweet vinaigrette was just a little too much for our liking. And the mac and cheese, well, that was pretty decent. Not a bad option there. And to top off your meal, each person at your table will get to pick 1 mini pie in a jar, with options including Bo's lemon and blueberry cheesecake, Billy's chocolate silk pie, Goat's apple pie, Gruff's peach strawberry pie, or cupcake a la Forky. These were a nice and cute way to wrap up the meal, but some of them, like the Goat's apple pie, would really have benefited from being served warm. We were probably the biggest fan of the Bo's lemon blueberry cheesecake, which was tangy and had a nice crumble texture on the bottom and included ripe and plump blueberries. Yum, yum, yum. Though I will say the cupcake a la Forky was very cute, especially for the kids. It's a very basic chocolate cupcake, but the sugar cookie Forky on top is a nice touch. To wash down your meal, you've got the regular water or fountain drinks to choose from, along with some specialty alcoholic beverages, beer and hard cider, wine by the glass, and non-alcoholic refreshments. But that peach tea was the star of the specialty drinks here. It's not overly sugary, sugary like some fruit-flavored teas are. Instead, it's only slightly sweet but super refreshing. Now that I think about it, I just think I'm a fan of the fruit options here. They did a really good job with those. Overall, the food is good, and I'm not saying that because I've been super influenced by all the toys in this place staring me down. It really is good, but if you're from an area that really goes hard on the barbecue, or even if you have a Pitmaster Pro in the family, this meal isn't going to leave you feeling starstruck by any means. But you will get a lot of food in a fun and colorful setting. All right, Woody and Bo Peep, how much damage are we talking about here? Whether you eat at Roundup Rodeo BBQ for lunch or dinner, you're going to wind up paying the same price. The feast here is $45 per adult and $25 per child ages 3 to 9. Now let's dissect that for a second. On one hand, this isn't the priciest all you care to enjoy option that you're going to find on property, but let's really get down to brass tacks here. How does that $45 price tag compare to other Disney barbecue offerings? Well, it's going to be your most expensive option of the bunch to start with. Even Whispering Canyon Cafe, which serves all you care to enjoy barbecue skillets, is priced at around $38. And you're still going to be able to experience that fun little dining room whimsy thanks to the zany servers here. Sure, Whispering Canyon Cafe isn't colorful or character-driven by any means, but you might find yourself in the middle of a stick horse race, or getting one too many ketchup bottles for the table, or receiving a way bigger refill than you were intending. Not to mention, you don't even need a park ticket to eat at this location. You just need an advanced dining reservation and you'll be all set for Whispering Canyon. As far as other barbecue options around Disney, well, they're quick service, so you can expect quick service prices. When it comes to Roundup Rodeo, you're definitely paying for the quantity of food and the all-around Toy Story theming. But in terms of quality, you might feel like you've overpaid for the items you received, when you could have had potentially higher quality barbecue someplace else for a much cheaper price. And now for the moment of truth. Should you snag an advanced dining reservation for this hot new table service that's been years in the making? Or has all this razzmatazz been leading up to a whole lot of disappointment? Well, you should definitely try this out if you've got a family full of Toy Story fans. This place is very stylish. Your kids are not going to find a shortage of things to look at here. From the cardboard cutout props to the oversized board games to the cute little forkies sitting on their desserts, this place is a good time and well themed. Not to mention the additional Andy's Coming happenstances that occasionally pop up every now and then just add to the fun, kind of like a Rainforest Cafe thunderstorm that you sit on the edge of your seat waiting for. If your kid has your family watching Toy Story on repeat back home, then this place will wow them. Now, you should also maybe try it if you're planning on being really hungry. Those family-style dining experiences are not for those who've already had a big breakfast. If you book a reservation here, then be prepared to really get your money's worth. Ask for seconds and thirds, pile those plates high. That way, you'll only have to worry about one big meal during your Hollywood Studios day to keep you all fueled up and ready to get back into the parks. The rest of the time, you can save money by snacking on park snacks or granola bars or trail mix that you might have pre-packed beforehand. And you should try this place out if you want a meal that caters to everybody. A great thing about Roundup Rodeo BBQ is that it's accessible for a variety of eaters. Normally, barbecue is a pretty safe bet for families that can usually satisfy even the pickiest eater, and since the meat at this barbecue location tends to be on the sweeter side of things, kids might enjoy it even better than the smokier, spicier barbecue offerings at other barbecue joints. And even if your kids aren't big on the meat offerings, they can still fill up on the 4 sides you order for the table. They're bound to enjoy at least a couple of those sides, if not all of them. And even plant-based eaters can find options to enjoy here thanks to Trixie's plant-based trio. In short, you don't have to stress about anyone going hungry. Now, this may not be the best restaurant for you if you don't want to pay the max price for unremarkable barbecue. Was that too harsh? Because I'm not saying this barbecue was bad, it's just forgettable. Honestly, the quality of food here reminds us a lot of the barbecue you might chow down on if you're literally at a neighborhood block party. It's nothing that someone with a big green egg in their backyard couldn't whip up themselves. And not only that, but it's going to be the most expensive barbecue option you're going to come across in Disney World. Sure, other barbecue quick services aren't going to give you quite that over-the-top theming that your kids are going to love, but if your main priority for picking restaurants is more about the quality of the food than the quantity and overall entertainment factor, then you're probably going to be better off choosing, well, literally any of the other barbecue places available, to be frank. You also want to skip this spot if you're looking for character dining. Despite the over-the-top Toy Story theme and overall character dining vibes going on here, you're not going to be able to meet Woody or Buzz or Bo Peep or Jessie or any of the little green army men. Now, who knows, this might change in the future, but for now, your best shot at meeting these Pixar pals is when you catch them walking through Toy Story Land during random character sightings. If you're looking for character dining inside Hollywood Studios, you may be better off making reservations for Hollywood and Vine. They've got 2 different character dining opportunities opportunities. The first is during breakfast, where you can meet Disney Junior characters like Vampirina, Fancy Nancy, Doc McStuffins, and Roadster Goofy. And the second is during lunch and dinner, where you can meet Mickey, Minnie, Pluto, and Goofy during a seasonal meet and greet opportunity that switches out themes depending on the time of year you're visiting. Per the release of this video, Hollywood and Vine is the only character dining experience in Hollywood Studios, but we'll make sure to keep you updated if the status of that ever changes. And you may skip this one if you only have a limited amount of time in Hollywood Studios. Much like any other table service restaurant that you're going to find in the parks, it's going to take time to eat at Roundup Rodeo BBQ. If you only have a day in Hollywood Studios and you'd rather not take up an hour or so of that day dining on all you care to enjoy meats atop fake paper plates, then you're going to want to do some research on Hollywood Studios quick service offerings, which will be way cheaper and get you your meal much faster, especially if you use the mobile order feature on your My Disney Experience app. After all, there are a lot of rides in Hollywood Studios, and you gotta stand in a lot of lines. Now, some solid quick service offerings around Hollywood Studios include Backlot Express in Echo Lake, ABC Commissary in Commissary Lane, Docking Bay 7 in Star Wars Galaxy's Edge, Ronto Roasters in Galaxy's Edge, and several others that you can learn more about in our 2023 DFB Guide to Walt Disney World Dining, which you're gonna find on dfbstore.com. Be sure to use code YouTube to save some money. So what do you think? Is Roundup Rodeo BBQ going to be a must-do on your next Hollywood Studios visit? Or is there a different Hollywood Studios restaurant you've got your heart and stomach set on? Let us know in the comments, and make sure to keep checking back here for even more DFB food reviews, recommendations, and restaurant news to come. Thanks for listening, everyone, and thanks for watching. As always, this is AJ for Disney Food Blog, and we'll see you real soon.